So our first question comes to us tonight from Donna. And Donna wants to know, she says, my neighbor down the street was killed when a trucker ran a red light a few days ago. His family's been posting a lot about it on Facebook, and I wonder if this could come back to haunt them in a legal case. Rocky, what say you on a situation like this?
Well, first off, I'm sorry about your friend and your neighbor. That sounds like a terrible tragedy that happened. And certainly social media is a good way. It has a lot of good purposes, and to get out information to friends and family across the country about the loss and about the funeral arrangements or the arrangements or the ceremony that they're going to have is important. And I would encourage them to use Facebook or social media for that. But what I would absolutely say do not do is get on social media and start talking about the incident, talking about the facts of the incident, disparaging, calling the person that caused the accident names. I've seen that happen. I've seen it happen in cases that I got involved in later. And it makes a bad situation worse. And I know there's probably anger, there's probably sadness, all the natural emotions that the family's going through. But I make sure that I counsel any new client that I have against posting details of the wreck on social media, because there's a time and a place to talk about those things, and it's going to be at trial. It's not, in public for everybody in the world to see. And so while I certainly sympathize, and I'm sorry about your friend and your neighbor and their loss, I would caution them to be very careful about what they post on Facebook, because that stuff's forever.
Okay, Lorelei, any comment on that as well?
Yeah, I agree with Rocky. We actually have a case right now where there's some people that are being sued for some libel and some slander. And so not only do you have to be careful with what you put on Facebook or social media, because it can come up, it's discoverable information, but you got to be careful what you say about somebody else on the internet. Once it's out there, it doesn't go away. And there are still laws in Mississippi that you can be sued if you say something that's false or that does disparage somebody's reputation.
Yeah, and one other thing, Morgan, a lot of people hide behind these anonymous comments, which I think is pretty chicken to do, first off, but they say some really nasty things about other people on these blogs and these websites anonymously, thinking nobody will ever find out who I am. Wrong. It's not that hard with a subpoena to go and find the IP address. And once you have the IP address, you can track down who it is. So even if you're anonymous, you might want to be careful about what you say.